The next instructor is a real son of a bitch. It's me. I'm just kidding. Obviously. You guys, so I've been up. Where's my own? I can't even find my own camera. I have been up since 10 p.m. my time to you know, help facilitate all these classes. So at times today I may be a little bit lost for words. Anyways, hey, let's take a moment. Let's stretch out, get ready. If you guys, this is going to be a workshop, not so much a class. So if you did have your camera on, it would be helpful for me, and we're all going to be teammates for an hour. I may pull some of you guys aside to like use you as an example. What I really want to do today, we're not really going to talk about Shungfa. So like last year, we went through like Shungfa and micro actions that are, you know, very present in Shaolin Chen. But this year, what we're going to be working on is strategizing and how we can communicate values in our movement to the judges. Because when it comes down to competition or performance, that's pretty much what you're doing. And, you know, this can be applied to any style, modern or traditional. But personally, you know, I want to pick on Shaolin Chen because it's, in my perspective, kind of a low-hanging fruit. When you see Shaolin Chen, you guys can loosen up and stretch out. We're going to get pretty active in just a moment. What do you think about? You know, what is the first thing on your mind? Usually people are trying to focus on speed and power, right? But, you know, it comes off a lot of times, Shaolin Chen is very simple when it really shouldn't be. It has so much depth. And usually it's just people, you know, pushing themselves to go faster or go harder, but they're missing the real root of the action, correct? I like to put it like it's a sandwich made of 3 pieces of bread. No content, just lots of fluff, right? But today, you know, we're not going to focus so much on the Shungfa like last year. We're going to focus on how can we explore the movements that we've been given? Because, you know, when we do competition, we're not really able to change the moves. So how can we explore those moves, the space, the musicality, the intonations available, the flavors, and how can we, you know, get the most out of Shaolin Chen or other styles, but specifically Shaolin Chen, you know. Now, if you guys know Junhong Chen, this will be much easier, okay? Let me adjust my camera here a little bit. Now, you guys, let me know if you have trouble hearing me, if you have questions, anything, just chime in anytime, okay? Hopefully you guys can see me better now. I see how it is. A bunch of people leaving now, okay? I'm gonna remember those people. You guys, hey, first of all, let's get started with some warm-ups, yeah? So first thing we're gonna do a little sanda. I'm assuming you guys all do sanda, so we're just gonna do a little bit, not to, you know, that's not what we're gonna focus on, but just to get warmed up, get our body moving. Now, first thing we're gonna do though is focus on our quad. How are we tucking our quad, expanding, shrinking? But in sanda, we call this cornering our hip. So I'm gonna take my right hand, it doesn't matter what hand you start with, I'm gonna throw it behind me. I'm gonna swing my body. This rotation right now is whatever's natural. I'm gonna take a step forward with my right foot. And now when I throw my hand back, I'm gonna keep my right foot, my right leg stationary. And I'm gonna focus on how this action causes this quad, this hip to corner. We'll get into some boxing in just a moment. I need to get up and move. How you guys doing? I've seen a lot of you guys in a lot of the classes. Let's switch sides. Some of you guys have been on like all day. It's pretty impressive. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like my bones are made of coffee right now. So let's get back. So I don't know if you guys do sanda, but usually we stand with our left foot forward. Me personally, I'm southpaw, so I stand with my right foot forward. You can pick a foot, it doesn't matter. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna corner our hip that same way, right? But we're not gonna swing our arm, and we're gonna throw an uppercut. The way we're gonna do this is our body shrinks into this hip, and we're gonna stand up and expand, okay? We're gonna come back to this later, yeah? But for now, shrink, expand, shrink, expand. We do the same thing with a hook, shrink, expand, shrink, cornering the hip, rotate, drive off your foot. What I like to think of is my front foot, right? When I turn and rotate, I like to imagine like I'm putting out a cigarette with that foot. And I'm really like smashing it into the ground, right? Hips and shoulders stay aligned. This joint, your shoulder, is not going to be moving like this. It's going to be static. So it's just the body moving, right? Corner, uppercut, corner, hook. You can switch sides. Corner, hook, corner, uppercut. We're just trying to get warmed up, you guys. Now, while we do this, I don't want you to think power. I want you to think with your punches, I want you to think like you're puncturing something, not necessarily like you're blasting through something. Instead of thinking speed, I want you guys to think of momentum. Okay, I don't want you guys to be like trying to speed yourself up. I want you to just focus on your body gaining momentum as it's moving. Nice, you guys. Whew. Real quick, we're gonna stand square. We're gonna be nice and relaxed. Knees are soft. We're gonna be throwing these uppercuts right here. We corner in the hips, tucking in our quad. Just like when we do our forms in Qigong and stuff, right? Now, I'm gonna tuck this quad. I'm gonna come up with this fist. I'm gonna roll the next one up. You can come off your heel if you like. I don't want you guys to worry about speed. I want you guys to think momentum, we're relaxed. We're just gonna keep rolling this. I'm gonna say go. When I say go, we're gonna corner, hook, or uppercut, whichever you prefer, okay? Ready? Go. 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 Now the main focus here is how are we cornering in our hips? What is the hip action? Are our shoulders and hips aligned? How is that maneuvering our entire body? Go. Go. Loosen up. All right, guys. So real quick, let's work on some body action, okay? We're gonna do one of three things. We're either gonna slip. You guys don't know what slip is. We are kind of leaning into one hip, turning towards that hip, but dropping our shoulder forward. So if someone's trying to punch us in the face, we're breaking off that center line, okay? Let's try. We can fade. Fade is pretty simple. We're gonna take a mini step back. We're getting on the ball of our foot, and we're putting all our weight into that ball of the foot. Okay, slip, fade, slip, fade. You can mix it up however you like. What about ducks? You guys know ducks? We're dropping our butt. We're shifting into our hip. We're coming up. You can do this as a step, but today we're not gonna worry too much about it. Drop your butt, shift into your hip, stand up. Cool, you guys. So this is how we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna start throwing some punches at you. I want you guys to respond appropriately, yeah? So, let's hope this doesn't fall. So for example, right here, jabs and crosses, appropriate action would either be slips or fades, right? I want you to go tit for tat. Every time I strike, I want you moving. Hooks, obviously, we're gonna be ducking under. Now remember, we're just getting warmed up. If you're not very good at this, it's okay, no one's judging. We're all teammates for an hour, ready? Okay. I think I got it for you. Oh, you guys' ducks are solid. Let's switch it up. Let's go the other direction. I'm gonna give you guys something to hit, okay? Let's see your jabs, crosses, hooks. All right, guys, let's do this. We're gonna do some virtual mitts, ready? I might trip you up like this. Oh, there we go. Let's go. Ready? This is gonna be jab, cross, hook, jab, cross, uppercut. Whew. All right, guys. Hey, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go through kind of like a prescribed action movement from Shaolin. Pretty simple, pretty easy. I'm gonna give you guys some tools, and then we're gonna expand away from that, and then I'm gonna have you guys, doing some work on your own, right? So the combo we're working on first today, just so that we can all stay on the same page, is our snap kick, palm, turn around, palm. Hey, if you don't know Shaolin, this is difficult, let me know, so we can go through it a little more, right? But most of you guys probably know Shaolin, so it shouldn't be too hard. Let's do a few together. You can switch sides whenever you like. It doesn't matter what style of Shaolin you know. Doesn't matter, Maybe the movement I do is a little different, but the overall structure is the same, okay? And this is what we're gonna work with first today. Let's do one more time. Because I'm not at the keyboard right now, if anyone has questions, just unmute yourself. Now, so today we're talking about how do we communicate values in our forms, right? Now, first of all, let's talk about values, right? Speed, power, intensity, softness, finesse. There's all kinds of ways you can implement flavor into your movement to make it valuable. Now, not only that, but that value you implement, whether it's speed, power, intensity, whatever, we're just gonna say value from now on, gives each individual movement identity, right? If you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably heard me talk about this, yeah? So why don't we go through the same movement? Let's skip the kick and we're just gonna do the 3 palms. You wanna follow me first. Why don't we go slow, focusing on overall good action. We're gonna go fast, go. And then let's do fast again. So right here, we already created contrast between first palm, second, and third, right? Let's try again. Let's go slow. We'll go fast, fast, go, fast, fast. Correct? Now, let's change it up again. We're going to create contrast between this fast and fast action, not with the value, but with our structure, right? So let's try this. We'll go slow. We'll go fast. Now, we're quite high here. When we go for this next one, we're going to drop really low, really big action, really extreme. Go. Okay? Now, we don't necessarily need to change the move, correct? Because, for traditional, that's kind of not what we do. Or we're changing the approach. You know what I mean? Is anyone here a chef? Any chefs in here? I got one for you. I like to talk in a lot of analogies about either cooking or music because they're universal, right? Now, when you make your cereal in the morning, do you put the milk in first or do you put the cereal in first? Now, regardless of how you do it, the flavor is going to be the same. It's really not that big a difference, but your approach does, change up the overall end result, correct? So now, even though we're not changing the overall formula, we're just changing our approach, right? We're not changing the move, yeah? Let's try this again. Then we're going to switch it up again, yeah? So we're going slow, fast, fast, big, okay? So we change, the silhouette, the action, or how we approach the action and the values. But we can also adjust the timing, correct? So now, a lot of times when we're doing a move, we think of beginning of the move, end of the move, right? Why don't we break this down some more? Anytime you can break the move down, the more times you break it down, the easier it is to master, to approach, to change, I know I sound like I'm contradicting myself, but you guys know what I mean, right? So instead of thinking of the move from beginning to end, if you guys play any kind of instruments, we could think of this as a bar. And we're going to divide up the bar with notes, correct? These notes are going to be the attribute of our movement. So why don't we just take the slow one, right? The first palm, slow. We could change it up. Slow, we break it in half. 1, power. 2, and then fast, fast, go. Fast, big, right? So 3 movements, all the same. We're just changing the values, the rhythm. Now, a lot of times when we talk about this is pretty obvious, right? It's just the rhythm, It's just how we wrap up the movements and give it to the judges, correct? Let's try again. So I'm gonna go slow, power, go. Nice. Let me see one more time. Speed, big. Nice, nice, Keith. Hey, what are some other attributes or values you can add to a movement? How are there more ways you can break it down? Are there different ways you can organize it? Totally. For example, right? Instead of taking the route we took just now, you could totally go slow, power, speed, slow, right? It would completely change the movement. Creating contrast, it's not really necessarily just contrast, but it makes the movements complement each other, like red and green. Makes the movement stick out more. Judges will be able to appreciate it, and identify what values are important in your movement. If you do every single movement, fast, powerful, intense, right? Every move is the same movement over and over. It doesn't matter, even the movement is different, it has the same flavor. It's like if you went to eat, dim sum, and you just ate one dish over and over and over and over. right? One flavor profile, okay? It wouldn't be interesting. It doesn't put you above any other competitor. And that's the issue with Shaolin Chen, right? Is that everyone's, chugging forward, trying to be faster, trying to be more powerful, but there's no flavor. There's nothing interesting in why. Okay, guys, so, okay. Choreography, language, how you make each move has a different intention, making each one different. Yeah, correct. I like to sometimes think about martial arts in terms of fighting. That is very correct, right? It's like if we were jabbing, right? Jab is quite a useful movement, right? But you could pepper it. You could do like fakes. You could do light jabs. You could power through with your jab. You could chain jabs together, but still the same move, right? So yeah, for sure. The effect is different. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not at the keyboard very often, so I'm missing a lot of what you guys are telling me. So feel free to just chime in. Unmute yourself. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge you because this is not a class. This is a workshop. We're going to take those 3 moves, those 3 palms. If you don't do this style and you do palms maybe different, feel free. But I'm going to challenge you to, what's the word? Compose it with different values in a different rhythm than we just did, rather than slow, power, fast, fast, right? Shrink, expand. I'm like challenge you guys to do something different. Maybe like 2 minutes. 2 minutes seems like good enough, right? For 3 moves. And then whoever's kicking the most ass, I'm probably going to share yours. So don't be shy. Okay. You could just pretend this is a competition or something. I don't know. I'm also interested to hear where everyone's from. What styles you guys practice, whatever. And definitely, you guys, definitely, this is not really a class. I'm not really teaching you guys something. I'm just trying to empower you guys to, have the freedom to express yourself through your movement. So, even if you're like maybe a little shy, I recommend you turn on your camera. If you don't want me to use you as an example, let me know in the comments. You could directly message me. But, you got me. I'm here. I'm here to help or give you my thoughts. So feel free. How's everyone feeling? Some of you guys, I don't know how you guys have been doing these classes for so long. ASD, I can't see your whole name, Dragonero. Man, you guys have been like every class, boom, boom, boom. I think you guys missed 1 class or something today. Megan Green, hey, how are you? I think this is my first time meeting you.
First time, yep. Hello from Oakland.
So feel free, you guys. I'm just gonna watch it. Remember, if you don't feel comfortable with me using you as an example, just let me know. But also keep in mind, for this hour, we're all teammates, okay? We're all helping each other grow. We're sharing energy, knowledge, power, huh? Now, I'm gonna ask, does anyone want to volunteer? Oh, I think someone just left. I said that and then they were like, nope, bye. Come on. Who wants to volunteer? Someone jump in.
I can't guarantee I'll do it the same way.
Okay, I heard somebody, but I couldn't tell who it was. Is it Danny?
Yeah, that's me.
My guy. Okay, let's see. Let me put you on the spotlight. Can you guys hear him okay? All right, Danny, let's see what you got. I kind of want to pick your brain about like what made you choose this and, this method and strategy. But let's see it first. Jayo, jayo.
You want me to show you the way that I usually do it, or the way you were showing it just now?
Oh, let's see it first.
Okay.
Jayo, jayo.
I usually go about it with more of like a side of block, as well as lifting up the knee a bit high, and then this motion is the same.
Oh, you don't have to explain it. Just show us.
Oh.
Show us. Nice, nice, nice. Now, when about this, at what points do you feel you're creating contrast between the movements?
For that one, I try to create a slow beginning, kind of emphasize this, and then this part I go a little bit fast, kind of quick 1, 2, 3, and it's the motion after that I try to emphasize the grab and cool.
But between the three palms, because the thing is with those palms, they're very identical. And then even the values, the difference, we want to make it more extreme. We don't want the contrast between the movements to be like red and orange. Those two colors don't really complement each other. We want green and pink, red and blue, or red and green. We want this kind of big contrast between the movements. Otherwise, we're utilizing energy, but we're not gaining ground against our opponents. You know what I mean? Anytime in a competition, even if it's Taolu, even if it's forms, if we're not putting ourselves above our opponents, or I can't think of the right word, sorry guys, we are losing opportunities to gain points and attention, right? So let's try to create more contrast between the three palms.
Yeah.
Because even the move is the same, same framework, we can implement different flavor. Boom. Nice. Now, this brings up a really good point that I want to share with you guys. And I don't know if you guys were here for Brandon's class, but I almost feel like our classes are like spiritual, successors, you know what I mean? Because his was all about the information, and then I want to try to empower you guys to do it, put it into action, right? Now, one other way we can create contrast in the movement is the silhouette of our body, right? Now, when you do the movement fast, there's a quick boom explosion of like movement, right? But when we go slow, there's a big exaggeration between how we shrink and how we expand, right? Creating contrast, not just a flavor, but overall structure and movement, correct? Ah, beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. Anyone else? Yeah, Danny, your audio is pretty hard to hear. But hey, anyone else? Otherwise, I'm gonna just randomly pick on you guys. Okay, I'll give you guys like 5 seconds. 4, I'm gonna pick someone randomly. 3, 2. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pick my student. I'm gonna pick on my students. Megan's like, not me. Megan signed up for a class at my school but hasn't attended yet, so I don't know. I'll pick on you later, Megan. Okay, Kyrie, what about you, brother? What do you got? Were you here earlier for the beginning part of it?
No, I literally came in right on this part. And I was like, perfect at the end. So
you missed it, man. We did virtual mitts.
I saw the part about the mitts, and then I got the call literally as you started explaining the form. And I was like, you know what? These sons of, you know what? Love them still.
Yo, you know what, you guys? I love you guys, but we're gonna have to move on. So I'm gonna just randomly pick someone. Unless someone wants to volunteer.
I can go before I get randomly picked.
Great. All right, I'm putting you on the spotlight, buddy. Let's see what you got.
Yes, I can.
Jayo. Nice. I like that, there was a now, when you were expressing power, right? There's a very clear positive stop, correct? That's kind of part of the dimensions of showing good power. But then you kind of pull that away, right? So, sometimes we talk about the movement being the beginning and end, like I said, but really we should think of this like a bar of music, and then there's musical notes. And so sometimes you would hit a positive stop and then ease off of it a bit, creating more like contrast, even in the smallest little bit, like maybe a 16th of a note, right? This is pretty good. This is a good way to approach it. You know what I mean? A lot of times for myself, I will adjust the rhythm of a movement and blur the line between the beginning and end like this, right? Or I'll hit a positive stop, boom, and then kind of ease off of it. And the movement hasn't changed, but it creates a very new flavor, right? Hey, so what I'm going to do is let's move into something else. If you haven't learned any forms, if you don't know any Kung Fu, you're very new at this, you can work on those 3 palms. But let's take a section of one of our forms, 3 to 5 moves, and we're going to re-approach, strategize so that we can create as much contrast between values, silhouette, right? What our body's doing, what our body looks like, structure, right? Like what your approach is to your stance, especially for Shaolin Chen, right? Sometimes we do the stance really wide and low. Sometimes you do the stance high, it's up to you. I'm gonna give you guys like 2-3 minutes, and feel free to jump in, ask me questions. You know, that's why I'm here. All right, Keith, the pressure is off of you. Well done. Well done too, Danny. Danny, man, your movement is sharp. 加油. Keep it up. I love to see so many people active in this class. So, you know, I said I didn't really want to cover Shengfang in this hour, this session, but, you know, feel more than welcome to ask me, like, if you want to figure out a better approach to the movement too, you know? So, you know, we have this outer layer of our movement, you know, like the values we implement, but then on its inner core, you know, we have concepts like Jing, right? How are we transferring power from the ground through our body into our striking extremity, whatever it be, right? The approach to that, what kind of Jing, what our body's doing, the vector of the movement, you know? This can also be another way to approach a movement. I'll give you guys a really simple example. Xiaohong. Sometimes people do the palm like this, flat. Sometimes people do the palm like this. But you can see, you know, just this difference adjusts your body a little bit, but neither is wrong. Both are correct. I love it. You guys giving me energy. Okay. So now, right, we were talking about creating contrast, right? How are we strategizing, how are we laying notes on that bar of music to create as much variables, make as much identity and flavor, right? I don't want you guys to be like, sorry, I'm lost for words right now. I don't want you, when you guys do your form, you know, I don't think a high-level competitor wants to be monotone. Yes, thank you. I don't want you guys to be monotone, but I'm thinking a piece of music that's kind of monotone. I can't think of one. By the end of today, I want you guys to approach your move as if you're form, as if you're Paganini, okay? You know, creating a lot of dynamics in your movement, a lot of intonations and musicality. Anyways, you guys, let's talk about it. Let's look at some examples. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna train as a team, okay? I'm gonna say go, we're gonna hit our section. We'll do it a few times. I'll give you guys some breaks in between. Now remember, we're not focused on power. You know, when we hit, we're focused on puncturing through our target. I don't want you guys to worry about speed. I want you guys to think about momentum, okay? And this is just so we don't get gassed, all right, guys? Because I might have you share. And if you're sharing and you're tired, you know. So let's get started, huh? Ready? I'm gonna say go. We're gonna hit our section, yeah? We're gonna do it a few times. You guys ready? Get ready, get in position, and go. Da, da, da. Make sure where you're looking, good. Hey, I'm gonna challenge you guys to do that again. Some of you guys still seem a little bit uncomfortable with the decisions you made for how you're adjusting your form or approaching it. So I'm gonna challenge you guys. Let's take the speed down way lower, like maybe 50% speed, but still express the same kinds of values. You know what I mean? Ready? Go. Nice. 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 ASD, oh, sorry, I got someone in here. ASD, I can't see you guys' name. Dragon, I'm gonna just say dragon because that's where it cuts off. Dragon, dot, dot, dot. Oh, dragon narrow. What style do you guys train? Oh, modern Taolu. Okay. You guys' movements are sharp, clear, clean, right? Anyways, let's do it again. We're gonna go fast this time. We're going to take it back up to 150. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go. Nice, nice, nice. But some of you guys are still sticking with the approach I gave you, right? I want you to take it apart, put it back together, and in that process, put yourself into it. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds like a bunch of nothing, right? Like you can say that about anything, but you know, when you get to the what's the word? When you get to the destination, it'll make sense. Yeah. Anyways, again, we're gonna take it way back down. 40% speed. You guys ready? Go. But we're still expressing the values, very much so. Just take the speed down. We get comfortable with the actions. One more time, 150. Okay, guys? A lot of you guys are solid. Now, remember, momentum, not necessarily speed, not necessarily power, but puncturing. Okay, ready? Go. Boom, go, go. Nice. Now, let's talk for a moment. So this was really good. Now, what I'm gonna have you guys do is go back to going slow. We are going to talk Shengfa for a little bit, but I'm not gonna, give you guys, exercises for Shengfa. I want you guys to look into yourself. We're gonna go back to it slow, but I want you to be paying attention to how you're developing, how you're, this energy that you're trying to create and pass on to the next body. How is it progressing through your body? Does that make sense? So, for example, right? Oftentimes, oh man, I gotta put this lens on. So, for example, right? Usually in traditional Shaolin Quan, if you guys were here for Chen's class, you guys will already know this. So a lot of times we move from the hip, right? And even for traditional Shaolin Quan, when we do this, we don't rotate this bottom foot. You can't see my foot, but it won't rotate. I promise you, okay? We step and all the action occurs in our hip. Here, right? But my bottom foot is still pointing this way. Or I can take it a different approach, especially if I go lower, I'm gonna have to rotate that foot. I don't know if you can see the difference, but it's, are you putting your milk before the cereal? You're putting your cereal before the milk. It might look similar, but the approach is very different. And when you take that to its highest extreme, the end result will be different. I'll show you, for example, okay? So we go boom here versus here, okay guys? So we're gonna go slow, but I want you to stop and think about that. What is your approach? How are you doing it? Where is that power coming from? What is the clearest path for it to go from where it's coming from to where it's going? Yeah, let's go slow. Let's go 3 times on your own. And then I'm gonna pick on you guys again. Nice, focus, focus. You wanna have your mind, aware of your body, correct? Nice. Oh, wow. Operations, where are you located? I don't know where you're at, but it looks really nice. Also, your movement is really clear. Very cool. Oh, you have a new person.
Thanks. In Florida.
Florida? Dang. How's your weather? Our weather is
windy
I'm in
down
Seattle,
here.
so it's like the opposite.
Yeah, it's a little windy down here.
What style do you train?
I do box Shaolin.
Oh, cool. Because your movement is very clear, very clean. Do you mind if I spotlight you? Great, great. Cool. Let's first go slow. I want you guys to look. There's a very clear
And
progression.
I came at the very end of this.
There's a very clear when you watch Operation. I'm sure that's not your real name, and you don't have to share your real.
No, that's when I was working. So it's still when I'm working. That's what it's on there.
Okay. So I don't want you to feel offended that I'm calling you Operations.
I'm not offended. Actually, it's like pretty cool.
But if you watch, the approach, the movement, where it's coming from and where it's going is extremely clear. We can watch. It kind of reminds me, similar like Danny's. Danny's movement was also like there's a very clear progression and end. Now, some of you guys, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, okay? Everyone, just in general, a lot of people in that, nice, in that process of taking power from where it comes from to where it's going, you guys lose that path of motion. You know what I mean? That progression of force. But can you do one more time? Just slow again. I want you guys to look at their back leg. Okay. Nice. 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 One more time. Fast. 加油,加油. Oh, nice. Boom. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Very well done. Thank you. From this day on, your nickname will always be Operations. You know that, right? I'm just kidding. Anyways, you guys.
Fine,
So,
I don't mind.
so I don't know if you guys know this now, right? So now, okay, let's all be open for feedback, both positive and negative. Okay, so Operations, it's so funny to call you that. When you went slow, there's a really clear path of motion. But when you went faster, that path was kind of muddled a little bit, right? So we want to, whether you go fast or slow, have that same feel. Now, what we can also do, so this is a strategy I do sometimes, especially with some of these moves like these front hand strikes into a front stance, because they're kind of difficult. But that's like a Shaolin thing, right? We always do that. What I often do, and you'll see in a lot of my videos, is I'll take the first one, because we always do it in threes too, for some reason, right? So I'll often take the first one and go slow. And we can show good shengfa, good finesse. And then, you could take a step away from that. The judges already see the movement is really good. I've communicated that. And then I could take that away and show I'm also fast, right? So for example, I'm gonna try to copy your movement, okay? So, we can show the movement has good action, good shengfa, good body mechanics, right? Then we could take the focus away from that and put the focus on speed. Maybe not the best action. And then we can bring the focus back to a different value, power, right? Which, why don't you guys try that? Because right now, a lot of you guys seem like you guys are struggling with the concept of putting a different value forward first, right? A lot of you guys are implementing a lot of values together. But remember, like we were talking about earlier, right? When you're throwing jabs don't always have to whip, right? Especially if you are framing up, right? Sometimes we can frame up with our jab. Sometimes we can not even put the body action and just pepper, power, frame, and then come in with something else, right? So, to create these variations and give each individual movement identity, we're putting a different value forward first, right? So why don't you guys try that? It seems like a lot of you guys are having a hard time with that concept. Now, the issue with Shaolin Chen, because I always talk about Shaolin Chen, it's kind of a low-hanging fruit, is we have so many movements in all the forms. It's just like the same move 3 times in a row, right? Qixing Chen, Tongbei, Xiaohong Chen, Dahong Chen, Changhu Xingyi. Every single one has this like combination of the same move over and over. And if you cannot differentiate the different values in each repetition and just show the same thing over and over, you're missing out opportunities, right? So if you were to come judge my cooking and I gave you 3 steaks, by the second steak, you wouldn't want to eat steak. By the third steak, you would be sick, right? So instead of doing that, serve different meals with different flavor profiles. Same thing with the movement, yeah? Whoa, you guys are running out of time super fast. Let's try again. I'm going to pick on someone else. And don't forget, you guys, feel free to ask me questions anytime, We had a newcomer, where for a newcomer, let me try to break this down. We're trying to workshop how we can adjust movements in our forms so that they have greater amount of variety and contrast, so that different movements, while also complementing each other, have their own identity, right? Even if it's the same move over and over, each time you do that same move, it can have a different identity, right? Whether it be speed, power, whatever value you want to implement.
So could one thing to kind of help with showing more power, could that be, it's me, Danny, by the way.
Yeah, I know your mic is so quiet. I don't know why.
I need to get my headphones or something. I left them in my car. But can you hear me better if I like talk really close to the mic?
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why. Do you okay. Anyways, go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing. I was gonna say to kind of show more power for one of those flavor aspects. Could that be to propel yourself forward, kind of like an extra, like a lunge?
Yes. Now, okay, guys. So this is actually a really good question. This is a great question. So Danny's asking like, he's moved into a different kind of mind space now. He's talking about his strategy to show more power. Okay, so this is actually a really complicated question because Danny is saying to show more power, can I, project myself forward more, right? More 重倍, right? More like this, correct? Now, first of all, the answer is always going to be yes. But the more, deep answer is, first of all, do you guys understand Jing? The concept of internal and external force combined to transfer energy from the ground or from wherever it originates to its opponent, to the next body, right? Now, Jing is not just how you generate that energy, but also the vector of the energy. So the answer is yes, but even with that, it still opens up the question, what kind of Jing are you generating, right? And in Chinese martial arts, we have so many concepts, right? Like Pi Jing, Zhuang, Fa Jing, right? Pao, right? Like there's so many different concepts. Or if you do Xi, Pao, right? And how you want to approach that is a tricky question. It is a very tricky question. So for all you martial artists who fight out there, what's the best roundhouse kick? Taekwondo or Muay Thai? The answer is they're both really good. It's just a different kind of Jing, right? They're both very powerful, but they can both, have different uses. So yeah, definitely, for sure, Danny. It just depends on figuring out what kind of Jing, the process of creating and delivering that force and creating a clear path of motion, and then making sure that you package it in a way that it is surrounded by complementary values, if that makes sense.
So I guess the trickier part would just be finding out when to kind of use that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What's great though about Shaolin Trend is because we have so many, there's so many opportunities where you do the same move over and over. If you learn different ways to do the same move, you can, take this approach where you do each time a different way.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Which could be a way you approach it, right? But hey, let's work on it. Let's see it. Let's try it out first. You're going to create force by shifting weight from your back foot to your front hand, tongbei, transferring force through your back. And then, but you got to package it with values that are complementary, right? I'm going to spotlight you again. Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah, right? We're creating variables. We're creating new identity for each individual movement, right? This is good. I feel like you kind of stole your first palm from operations, though. It was a good palm. It was very clear. Okay, who else wants to get picked on today? Oh, was that?
Inspired by, maybe?
Inspired by. Hey, it's okay. We're all teammates. For this hour, we're all inspiring each other, right? Anyways, who else wants to get picked on? I'm going to pick on Thomas. So I haven't talked to Thomas at all. Thomas is like, oh, I'm out. Thomas, where are you from, my friend?
I'm from Montreal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where do you train? Who's your teacher? Tell us about you a little bit.
Oh God. Okay. So I'm not from, I moved to Montreal 2 years ago. I'm from another city in Canada called Winnipeg. So I study under Sifu Sunny Pabwaya. So my base style is Taekwondo. And from there I went to One Hop Kajikembo.
Cool.
So I've got a mix of the two of those in what I do.
So can we see what's your approach to taking on these 3 consecutive moves or any other section of a form that you're doing? And feel free, if you're not comfortable to, I'll move on, but.
No problem. I'm limited in space here because I'm at my office and not in my gym, but.
Does your boss know?
Pardon?
Does your boss know?
My home office in my house.
Okay.
Yeah, my approach to trying to generate the power comes from my Taekwondo background, where in Taekwondo, we try to land the front foot as we're landing the strike. It looks good in Taekwondo forms. So that's where I'm trying to apply that here.
Cool, I see it. So this is really good. I like there's definitely a clear approach that you're trying to take, but what you need to do is take those different approaches, because right now, you know, if you think about all three movements and you put them in a circle and you label that circle with its identifying value, I'm gonna take you off the spotlight so everyone's not just watching me yell at you. You take those different movements and put them in their own circle with their different identifying, you know, value, and you put it together in the Venn diagram. You want that middle space to be filled with nothing. Do you get what I'm saying? Right now, there's too many similarities between the values you're putting forward. The movement is definitely different. Like you're definitely clearly taking on a different like approach to creating force, but then the overlying flavor has to also be different, right? I give you an example, another food one, because we all know food. If you go to McDonald's, you can get Big Mac, you can get French fries, and I'm not saying that you're McDonald's, okay? Like that's quite an offensive thing to say, but you know, you get Big Mac, chicken nuggets, and French fries, and they all kind of taste the same, right? Instead, I want your 3 palms to be a Caesar salad, a steak, and a lobster tail. You get what I'm saying? So you gotta take the extreme, the values that make that movement different and make them more extreme, and then they'll complement each other much better. Yeah. I know it's kind of a difficult thing, maybe. It seems like a lot of people are having trouble with that. I'm gonna pick on someone else. Let's do it one more time. We're gonna drill it again. We're gonna go fast. We're gonna go slow. We're gonna go fast. I'm gonna call it out, and then I'm gonna pick on someone again. Okay, let's go. Ready? We're gonna go fast first. No thinking, just do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Best you got. Best you got. Let's go. Okay, let's take it down. We're gonna go slow. We're still expressing the same values, but we're trying to, you know, be mindful of our action. Yeah, let's go. I appreciate everyone being so what's the word? Active in this. David, what's going on, buddy? Is that David? Is that my David? Hey, David. I appreciate everyone being so active and being willing to share with their teammates today, because I know, especially with strangers, like, not very easy, right? But we're all martial artists, so let's go again. We'll go fast, 150%. You guys ready? Let's go. All out, all out, all out. Come on. Nice. We're gonna go one more time slow. You guys ready? Remember, even when we're going slow, we're really trying to create a very exaggerated difference in the movements. Yeah, let's go. I'm sorry. You know, you guys, you don't have to do the 3 palms. You can pick a different movement from a different form. Doesn't matter what style too, because you know, I feel bad you guys are just doing these 3 palms over and over, and it's all the same move. So you're really just doing 1 palm over and over and over and over. Anyways, who's getting picked on? You know, I'm gonna pick on ASD Dragonero. I'm picking on you guys. Let's see what you guys got. We're all gonna watch and learn. All right, guys, best you got. Yeah, yo. Nice, 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 nice. Hey, so yeah. The first one, I think the first one your approach is a little bit different, just a little bit. But it was really good though, and let's talk about it. So everyone saw that, right? I'm always losing myself on here. I don't know how you guys still got the energy. If you guys don't know, ASD Dragonero, they've been in like every single class, and I think they missed 1 class because they were teaching a class, but they've been in every class. So the approach was clearly very different. It wasn't just the structure of the stance and how they're changing, how they're taking force from their back foot to their striking hand, right? How they were creating tongbei. Everyone knows tongbei, right? Tongbei is like, it's like when you throw a punch, right? How we turn this force into, you know, a knockout, right? How we turn this force from our legs through our back. So there was a one where they had stepped into it and boom, force the way through, kind of like Daniel was talking about. And then slow, expanding, focusing on shrinking, expanding. And then the last one was step and then popping upward, because lingjing, like rising this way, right? So not only was the, what do you call it, the approach and the development and progression of force different, but the flavor was different too, right? Was it fast? Was it slow? Was it, spicy, sweet, or sour, correct? That was really good, And, even you do the same 3 moves, it's interesting. We're gonna run out of time soon, you guys. So, hey, let's have an open conversation. Let's talk. We can talk about competitions or whatever. If it's awkward, I can think of a topic first. Oh no, right when I said that, someone left. They're like, nope, open conversation.
I got a semi question for you.
Yeah.
So this was my first time doing this part of the form. And what I was thinking in my head was quick one, hard one, relaxed expansion one. Because in my head, I was thinking it's 2 people, shock one, hit other one hella hard. And then the last one, deter. It's like, do you want what he got? So I'm thinking like, in doing it that way, does it still preserve the integrity of the form? Because I'm usually around when you like are beginning to explain it or at the end, but I always miss the middle part.
So actually, I like how you questioned it though. Does it preserve the integrity of the form? Because when we ask that question, we move from what is the meaning to what is the purpose, right? When we are practicing on our own, it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to create values and contrast and all this. When you practice on your own, you can focus on the fundamental concepts that are being given to you, right? And then internalizing them so that you can utilize them when you have to whip someone's ass, right? But that's not what we're doing now, not the meaning. We're working more on the purpose, right? Which can be interchangeable. But when you're performing or competing, the purpose is to gain points, to gain interest, to, what's the word? Take somebody's medal, right? So I would say in that context, for sure, I think also if you're thinking about application, yeah, I think also having an intent that drives your approach is actually a really good way to go about it, because sometimes we need a starting point to launch from. And sometimes it's hard to just be like, I'm gonna go fast, I'm gonna go hard, I'm gonna go soft, right? But having like an idea of what is the meaning and then convert that into what is the purpose, because they are not the same, right? Although they may be sometimes. I hope that's a good answer.
No,
I'm still running off coffee, so. Anyone else have any questions like that? That was a really good question, actually. That kind of helped me move into different.
I'm actually curious, which form is this from again? This 3 palms?
I'm going to write it down here and say it. It's called Xiaohong Quan, Xiaohongquan. It is considered the mother form of Shaolin. It dates back to some whenever, people debate about when it's from, but it is considered to be like the mother form. For example, if you ever have the opportunity to learn Xingyiba, which is like a kind of group of hidden skills within Shaolin, Xiaohongquan contains a lot of the fundamental movements, although it's hard to pick out, what they are. Yeah, it's called Xiaohongquan. Great form. A lot of people hate it. Most people who do Shaolin hate this form.
What's that?
I'm assuming that's my boy Danny, because I can't hear you. One more time, buddy.
I was just saying at first I kind of did too, but I was gonna ask about the Xingyiba because I keep hearing that name, but I don't know if I actually was explained what it really was.
So Danny was saying, I don't know if you guys could hear him. He was saying that he used to hate Xiaohongquan, which is valid because most people do, but not anymore. And what is Xingyiba? Well, I'll tell you is, number one is there's a teacher in China, my teacher, Junhong, who sometimes travels for seminars, and he's a really great source of knowledge. And number two, it's secret, so you're not supposed to talk about it. Okay? It is though. It is generally secret. And you can look up Xingyiba on YouTube, and there's all kinds of cool, like, different things and movements, but I guarantee you nothing you've ever seen on YouTube about Xingyiba is Xingyiba. It's really tightly held to the chest. It's a very secretive secret.
So I guess I kind of
People-
if I want to figure out, huh?
Yeah, first rule of Fight Club. Exactly. You don't talk about it.
Do
But
people just like it because it's repetitive?
no, I think people don't like it because some of the skills required to understand it are really hard to obtain, and it takes a long time. And even when you learn stuff that's considered Shingiba, it's not like something that can be transmitted to you quickly. You know what I mean? Like when you learn a form, you got that form, now you go practice it and you continue to grow on it. But on every step of the way, someone has to be there to adjust you until you finally reach that end point, right? Because there's really no end point. But yeah, it's a very difficult set of skills. But I highly recommend everyone find a teacher, because there are teachers who are teaching Shingiba, especially the foreigners right now, in China. And I think personally, any amount of success that I have had in competition was because of Shingiba, to be honest. Anyways.
Gotta go up to the mountains and figure out.
What was that?
Gotta go up to the mountains to figure it out. But
You got to go to the mountains and figure it out, man. Anyways, you guys, we're about to have our happy hour. I'm hoping people will join us. It's like, oh, shoot. Okay, let me stop recording this session first. You guys, well done. You guys are all kicked out of the team, but good job today. We're no longer teammates.